Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a little bit of butchery. We're going to be skinning and breaking down a couple of rabbits that I shot last night while I was doing some crop protection for a local farm. Rabbit is fantastically, that's not a word, a fantastic meat. It's low in fat, high in protein, it's good, really good for you, and it's pretty cheap as well. Should be able to pick them up from the butcher about £5 or £6. I've not paid for them for a little while because I shoot my own, so. Right, here we go. Right, so here we go, here's our rabbit. As you can see, head shot last night. Still in rigour. Fresh as you like. When you shoot rabbit especially, it needs to be paunched in the field. Paunched is having its guts taken out. See what the kidneys in there. And decent liver. Very healthy, this one was. Let's take this liver and put it into a jar. Take the kidneys out as well, do the same thing. And then when I've got enough of these, I'll do some sort of pie, kidney pie, and have some rabbit liver on toast. They're going to go straight back in the fridge. So with this, you need a couple of things. So I'm going to take the feet off first. I do it this way, I just find it easy to skin the beast. So we're going to need a knife, and we're going to need a chopping board. So with the rabbit, I'm going to find the joint. Just go through the joint. Again, find the joint. Just go through it. That lovely. Maybe for the dog. And then take the head off as well. I'm not going to show this because it's a bit gross, a bit gruesome. So we're going to cut back to the headless beast, alright? So now we have our decapitated and legless bunny. We're going to skin it. Skinning is relatively easy. Just going to peel it back and literally just peels away nicely. So you're going to get a thumb in there. Working it around like that. I don't know if you can see, there's generally like a little line, it's like air pocket, where the skin meets the flesh. If it gets stuck, just roll your thumb in there and it just comes off. Like that, okay. Then we get down to the legs. Again, using the thumb just to roll them slightly. Push it through. Pushing it through, working it around. So when you get to this sort of stage, again, I'm just working it, stretching it. Then I'm going to push effectively the wrist back through. Get my finger in there. Through that, and just hook it and pull it. Again, using my thumb, rolling my thumb around. Now flip it over. Again, just pull it, push it and twist it. There we go. Sometimes you get left with the sock. It's not a big deal, we just take that off afterwards. Again, using the stump here, pushing it through. The sock again on this one, just peel it off. And cut this one off. There we go. So now we're left with its tail and its back end. Just going to go down here, cut it out. There we go. One skinned rabbit. I'm going to cut to actual butchery of it. Right, so just to quickly fill you in, obviously I've started this. I had an issue with my camera. The SD card decided it's going to play up. So what I've done is I've run my knife down this V here, on both sides. I've then flipped it over. Now I'm going down the inside of this bone here, on both sides. Then I'm just going to pop it and then cut the leg off. Flip over, pop it, cut the leg off. So there we go, there's two rear legs done. We'll come down to prepping those off in a second. Next job is to clean this up. And I'm just going to take my knife and pretty much just follow the line of the ribs around. There we go. That's one. And from the other end. And just follow the line of the ribs up again. All this isn't going to be for waste. Any trimmings I'm going to get, I'm going to use for a stock. Then for the shoulders, just again following the natural lines of the animal. See the line there, the line all the way around there, with a bit of fat out of the way. There, this is pretty much the only fat I've found on this rabbit, just around the shoulders and the neck. So we're going to go this from the other side this time, straight down, through that gap there, and flip it. And just slowly work that shoulder out. And that's both shoulders done. Now this is the saddle. So I'm going to trim the ribs off. But easier if I get a bigger knife actually. So I'm actually going to use a pair of scissors because it's easier. The finest pink scissors. And then we're just going to go ping the ribs off all the way down. Same again this side. And that's ribs off. Turn up under here slightly. So now what we have here is still not completely the saddle, but from neck to tail. These are the back straps, the loin or the saddle, whatever you'd like to call it. Underneath we've got the counter fillets. These are really tender, they're really nice, but they are tiny, so it's a treat for you. So when it comes to the back here, where you feel on the spine, and I'm going to go in here, this slightly whiter knuckle. I'm going to go just in this gap here and take the tail off. Cut through. Then up the front, the lines are going to finish about here. Cut through. There we go, so you've got saddle, trimmings for stock, shoulders and legs. I'm just going to get all this into a tray and then show you what we do to the next bits. Right, so now we're on to the finer bits of the butchery. It's time to put the field knife down and grab a Japanese boning knife. That's that one there. If any of you are interested, I imported it from Japan. Let's get that out of the way. So, with the rabbit, the saddle and the haunch, the rear legs, is what we're going to be using. The rest of it we're going to use for stocks. I used my rabbit stock when I'm doing chicken and rabbit pie. So, start off with the saddle. Give it a bit of a tidy up around the edges. Just get this sticky mess off. So, the spine, you can see here, it kind of, this bit here is like that, and then, so that's where my fingertips are, you can see here, and it comes down, goes out, and then goes back in on itself. So you need to run your finger down the edge, and you can feel that one vertebrae there, and then around the edge just next to it, you feel the next ones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shut the door. It's noisy. Run my knife down the spine. Right. And just flick it away slightly. And then now I can see the next section of the spine. You can see that they're kind of sticking out. I'm going to get my knife and just run that in. Now I've got my knife at a bit of an angle because I don't want to waste any of the meat. So I'm trying to get it as close to the bone as possible, because I don't really believe in waste. I mean, I believe in it, but there's too much of it. Then I'm just going to work my knife around, following the bones all the way down. Then when I get to the end, I'm going to flip it around because the ribs are up here. I'm just going to run my knife along the ribs. So there's one. Do the same this side, but I'm going to go work away from me, work towards me. second little bit of jutty out bone, and then in against the spine all the way down. See how my knife's angled? It's because if you run your knife flat, you've got a tendency to lose a bit of the meat that's kind of in underneath these vertebrae here. And also, if you're not deliberately angling it towards the bone, there is a chance that you might tilt it slightly away from the bone, thus wasting even more meat. So, around the ribs, flip it around, and back down. Now I'm still running my knife against the bone up here. Just trimming off the last bits off the edge of the ribcage there. So now it's time to clean this up. I'm going to take my knife and just run it gently down the edge of the fillet here. As you can see, it pulls away nice and easy. You can actually use your finger to run it, loosen it up slightly. That scraggly bit there, go to stock. Do the same on the other side. I'll try and hold it closer so you can see. As I come around the edge of the loin here, you kind of see there's a distinct line between the meat and this bit of sinew. It's not actually sinew, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. But we're going to go and just work that off. So we're just left with the fillet and the silver skin. So by silver skin, we should be able to see it here, it's white, the white stuff on top here. So you've got the pure muscle there, it comes around, and this is the bit that would be, you know, between the scratchy little bits in the skin, kind of at the edge of the muscle where it's not connected to bone. So the way I find easiest to take this off is if I was filleting a fish. So I lay it down, going from the end, the thinnest end. Keep my knife nice and flat. Just run my knife up, all the way up, all the way up. Like that. That should be nice and clean. And that little bit there that's left, I'm just going to shave off really carefully. This is why a sharp knife is key, because you're not. I'm just literally shaving it off. I'm just taking as little off as possible. There we go, nice and clean. Then neaten up the end, neaten up the other end, and there's one restaurant portion of rabbit. Do the same on this side. Knife nice and flat, all the way up. There we go. Again, trim it up. Beautiful. There's two lovely clean fillets. And then for the leg, I'm just going to French trim these. So run it around what would be the shank. Up there. And just work it down with a knife, just scrape it against the bone, get the little bit there, cut that off. You should be able to pick it off with your thumb get right in there. Just work it around, just pull it off. Trim that bit there off. Hang on a second, there we go, lovely. There's one leg done. Straight on for the next one. Go all the way around with my knife. I'm just going to get my fingers in there, pull it all the way down to the joint, the knuckle. Just work it off. Last little bit with the knife off there. There we go. Get nice and neat. So if I was using this in the restaurant, what I'd do, well, several things really. You could confit this or braise it nice and slow. If you wanted to do it as a pie, you'd braise it, then pick it down, and then use the stock from the braising liquor and this stock here that you've made with the roasted bones. Pick it down, mix that through a pie. Or you could braise it gently, breadcrumb it and deep fry it like a big chicken wing sort of thing. Or you can do what I've done recently up on the channel, which is cook them like chicken wings. Nice rub, low and slow, and then reduce the sauce, and then finish them off with some coriander and sour cream. Like I said, so there's the two pieces. There's the bits that we'd use in the restaurant or the pub. Just keep saying restaurant. 2 loins, 2 legs, and all of this I'd use for stock. Fantastic. Thank you very much.